Hi everyone, my name is Mark, and today we're going to look at a deeply concerning case. Sierra Jugjin was a vibrant young woman, known for her infectious happiness and fun-loving spirit. She brought joy to everyone around her with her spunky and sassy personality. Even when she made mistakes, she had a special way of bringing a smile to her mom's face. As Sierra grew older and entered high school, her adventurous nature continued to shine. She embraced new experiences fearlessly, including her love for volleyball. Whether on or off the court, Sierra displayed an admirable level of confidence. On July 19, 2016, Sierra's family had just returned from a vacation, and she had exciting plans for her future at the university. She had decided to study abroad, something her mother wanted to discuss with her. Being athletic, Sierra had recently purchased a bike and was eager to take it out for a ride whenever she found time. That day, Sierra left her house, looking happy and ready for a bike ride. She mentioned to her mom that she was heading to her boyfriend Josh's house, which was a few miles away. Her mom acknowledged her plans, expecting to see her later. However, later that afternoon, around 1:05 p.m., Josh called Sierra's home, concerned. He had tried to reach her several times, but her phone was going straight to voicemail. He mentioned that she had left his house earlier and hadn't contacted him since. Sensing something was wrong, Sierra's family quickly organized a search. They reached out to relatives and friends, checking every possible location, but there was no sign of Sierra. Despite their efforts, she was nowhere to be found. As the hours passed and worry deepened, Sierra's mom decided to contact the authorities. Shortly after, a neighbor called, mentioning that a nearby road had been blocked off. Sierra's family rushed to the scene, anxious for answers. The officers on site were unable to provide any immediate information, leaving the family in distress as they awaited updates. This case highlights the importance of quick actions in situations like these. Our thoughts are with Sierra's loved ones, and we hope for positive outcomes in cases like this. Please be sure to stay safe and stay connected with your loved ones. The FBI promised to provide any updates as soon as possible to Sierra's family. Understandably, the family found it difficult to sleep, filled with worry and planning their next steps. Sierra's mom and aunt took action into their own hands, reaching out to local hospitals in hopes of finding any sign of Sierra. Unfortunately, each call yielded no results, deepening their sense of despair. However, a lead from Detroit, Michigan, offered a glimmer of hope. Authorities had reported a young woman resembling Sierra who had been admitted to a hospital without identification after escaping from a moving vehicle. This woman had sustained serious injuries, including multiple broken bones. A nurse asked Sierra's family to identify distinctive marks, and Sierra's mom noted that her daughter had a scar on her calf and a belly button piercing. Although the description seemed to match, it was ultimately revealed that the woman was not Sierra, which was devastating for the family after they had invested so much hope. Later that morning, police visited Sierra's home with an update on their investigation. One officer had discovered signs of a struggle in a nearby cornfield, including motorcycle tracks. He had also spotted Sierra's purple bike during his investigation. Further examination at the scene revealed several items, including sunglasses and a bloody sock, leading police to believe Sierra had been abducted. Detectives began questioning Sierra's friends and family, including her boyfriend, Josh. They learned that Sierra and Josh had been close friends since childhood, and their relationship blossomed into romance in high school. They shared many interests, including skiing, and even as they attended different universities, they maintained a strong commitment to each other while navigating a long-distance relationship. On the day of her disappearance, Sierra had visited Josh and left around 6:30 p.m. Concerned for her safety, Josh rode alongside her on his motorcycle for part of the way home. After a few miles, Sierra insisted she wanted to ride home alone, and they parted ways. Investigators found motorcycle tracks near Sierra's bike, raising questions about whether they were connected to Josh's motorcycle. However, after questioning him, detectives confirmed he had returned home after their ride, ruling him out as a suspect. During the investigation, a local resident reported finding a motorcycle helmet on July 14th, which he had placed in his truck. After hearing about Sierra's situation, he inspected it further and discovered red stains, which he believed to be blood. This helmet was located in the same area where Sierra's bike had been found. When detectives approached Josh about the helmet, he confirmed he had it, which helped clarify his whereabouts. Determined to find answers, detectives sent the blood-stained helmet for DNA testing, hoping it would lead them closer to finding Sierra. Meanwhile, the news of her disappearance spread throughout the town, prompting community members to organize search parties to comb the area for any clues. This united effort brought the community together, showcasing their support and determination to bring Sierra home. In addition to the searches, a candlelight vigil was held at the local high school, where hundreds gathered to light candles and share their hopes and prayers for Sierra's safe return. 2 days into the investigation into Sierra's disappearance, police received a tip about a van seen speeding through the area. There were concerns that Sierra might have been taken in this van, possibly involving human trafficking. The tipster provided a license plate number associated with the vehicle, prompting police to interview the van's owner. Upon investigation, it was revealed that the van's owner was startled by another vehicle approaching from behind, potentially a family member looking for Sierra. In his reaction, he sped off, which created a misunderstanding about his involvement in the case. As the investigation continued, 48 hours passed without any significant leads, and Sierra's family struggled to maintain hope. With each day that went by, the chances of finding her alive seemed to diminish. The weight of the situation became increasingly difficult for them to bear. In their search efforts, police conducted a door-to-door inquiry and eventually focused on a farm located not far from where Sierra's bike had been discovered. The property, owned by James Worley, included several structures, such as a small house, a trailer, and a large barn. Police approached James to ask about the day Sierra went missing, hoping he could provide any helpful information. To their surprise, he mentioned that he had been out on his motorcycle that day, but had experienced a breakdown, causing him to lose a few items, including a screwdriver and his helmet. This revelation caught the detective's attention, as these items matched those found at the scene of Sierra's disappearance. James's unexpected connection to the case raised significant concerns for the detectives, prompting them to dig deeper into his background and involvement. As detectives continued questioning James Worley, they noticed scratches on his face, indicating he may have been involved in a struggle. This discovery heightened their suspicions and raised more questions about the circumstances surrounding Sierra's disappearance. After their interview, the detectives returned to the police station to conduct a background check on James, hoping to uncover relevant information. What they found sent chills down their spines. James Worley had a dark criminal history, including a previous attempt to abduct a young woman 26 years earlier on July 4, 1989. On that fateful day, Robin Gardner, then 26, was preparing for a neighborhood picnic when she decided to go for a bike ride. Unfortunately, she did not bring water with her, and as the heat became unbearable, she contemplated returning home. Just as she was about to turn back, a car approached from behind and collided with her bike. Stunned and disoriented, Robin heard the driver get out and approach her. However, the situation took a terrifying turn when the driver attacked her, threatening her with a screwdriver. In a desperate struggle for survival, Robin fought back fiercely despite her assailant's attempts to subdue her. Her relentless cries for help went unheard until a motorcycle rider happened upon the scene. Sensing her distress, the rider stopped, and Robin seized the opportunity to escape, quickly climbing onto the motorcycle. After being taken home, Robin's mother called the police and an ambulance, leading to an investigation that eventually led authorities back to the scene where they found James Worley. James cooperated with the police, but provided a version of events that differed significantly from what was reported. He insisted that he had acted out of concern for Robin's well-being after the accident, which ultimately led to his arrest for attempted abduction. He was found guilty and sentenced to 6 to 10 years in prison, though he was released after just 3 years for good behavior. Robin was understandably terrified to learn of his release, fearing he might strike again. Equipped with this background, detectives decided to search James's residence with a warrant. They scoured his home and backyard, but found nothing suspicious at first. However, upon inspecting a barn on the property, They discovered stacked bales of hay and a small green crate containing bags of underwear and other disturbing items, including a pair of purple panties that appeared to be stained with blood. This unsettling discovery raised significant concerns about James's involvement in Sierra's case. The detectives also found other items that suggested possible criminal activity, including zip ties and duct tape. They submitted all items for DNA testing as they continued their investigation. James attempted to explain the presence of these items as part of a business venture, but the evidence against him continued to mount. Eventually, he was arrested for Sierra's murder, shocking her family and community. As the investigation progressed, detectives thoroughly searched James's property, bringing in cadaver dogs to help locate any potential remains. They drained a pond on the property, examined the attic insulation, and searched neighboring farms for clues. A farmer reported a suspicious area in his cornfield that seemed matted down, prompting police to investigate further. Upon examination, they found fresh dirt that fueled suspicions it could be a grave. Sadly, as investigators dug deeper, they made a grim discovery of human remains believed to belong to Sierra. It was determined that she had been bound and faced a tragic end. The news of this discovery devastated Sierra's family, who had been holding out hope for her safe return. 1 month after her disappearance, James Worley was indicted on 19 counts, including kidnapping and aggravated murder. 2 years later, during his trial, despite overwhelming evidence against him, James pleaded not guilty to all charges. Over 8 days, the state presented a compelling case that captivated the jury. After 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found James guilty on all counts related to Sierra's murder, leading to a death sentence for his heinous crimes.